Hey everybody, good morning. John Millen with Benefit Hackers. Hey, I got a quick story to share. This conveys the value of benefit counseling services. I know I've talked about this before in many other podcasts, but this is a sort of a unique, maybe not unique, but this is a really cool example of getting the right advice from a knowledgeable benefit counselor. We have a client that we just brought on board. They have about 13 employees. They don't have any benefits now. So we were able to help them make that jump to our platinum package, which is essentially group medical and then a suite of voluntary benefits. And they had about 5 or 6 people that they thought would be interested in group medical. And they weren't sure, as they were surveying employees and we were working on the coverage and making sure the coverage was good value for the price. Going through that whole process, we just didn't know until you get down to it, like whether or not people will want the coverage and enroll. And there's minimum participation requirements that medical carriers have that we had to meet. So we had to have 50% with including some of the waivers that were in there to put the group on a group plan. So what's interesting, it seems like a small thing, but when you talk about the price of something, if I were to say to you, hey, are you interested in health insurance? It's $80 a week. If you don't have it now, or even if you do have it, but let's assume you don't have it. Like a lot of these people didn't have health insurance because they couldn't afford it before. So like, hey, do you want health insurance? It's $80 a week. Probably not. Like if that's the way you ask me, like, yeah, I'll probably save my $80 a week for something else. I never get sick. I'm young, don't have any disease. It's expensive. No. Versus if I were to get on the phone with you and say, hey, John, your employer is offering for the next year this group medical plan. And what's really special and unique about this is that it's the price is pretty decent and the coverage is actually pretty good for the price. So the value you're going to get from this is going to be really great. And the reason is, I know you have said you didn't have any coverage, the reason is if something were to happen to you, let's say you get into a car accident, you have car insurance to fix your car, but who's going to help pay for the bills when you go to the ER or get surgery and so forth? So this health insurance not only will help with that catastrophic stuff, but we have some coverage that's built in that's going to help you on the first couple $1,000s of coverage is going to kick in and pay those bills. It's a supplemental gap plan that we layered in. So your deductible actually isn't $5,000. It's actually we're covering the first $4,000 with gap. So it's a really cool plan. Plus there's telemedicine, some supplemental plans, and the rate is $64.82 a week for you. Now, what's really also cool is that you get to do this on a pre-tax basis. And I don't know if you know what that means, but essentially you can take that cost off the top of you take your income, you subtract your group health insurance, and then the government taxes that lower number. So in essence, you're really saving anywhere from 20 to 30%. That's what it's going to feel like, because instead of sending the tax money to the government, you're going to send less tax money to the government. Overall, you're going to get that savings is going to reduce what it's going to feel like coming out of your pocket for group health. So it's going to feel more like $45 a week. That's actually what you're going to see in your paycheck because it's pre-tax. How does that sound? If you position it that way, most people will be like, wow, $45? Okay. $10 a day. That's a lot different than 80. And just saying, hey, it's health insurance and it's a $5,000 deductible. Yeah, no, it's not. It's actually about $45 net to you. It comes out on a payroll deduction basis. So instead of, if you were to buy a plan separately on the market, you'd be charged monthly. So this is coming out every week. And it's actually the first $4,000 of deductible is actually covered in a major way with a gap plan, a supplemental bundle we built. That sounds very different, doesn't it? And so that is the value of having someone talk to each employee. So we had a couple scenarios yesterday and the day before where employees were like, no, I don't want it. And I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Let me just go through and explain this. I don't know what you've been told. And they start explaining. Go, wait, that's not, I thought it was like $80, $90, $100. They were rounding up. They were misunderstanding. They didn't understand the coverage. They didn't understand the pre-tax. And so at the end of a 15-minute phone call, we helped protect someone that really should have for $45 a week to have that kind of coverage that we built. It's a pretty good plan for $45 a week, because the alternative, if you get and break your leg, the alternative is probably bankruptcy. Like that's a $50,000 medical bill. If you break a bone in a major way, I know this. I've seen bills that people have had. It's 50 grand without insurance. Like you're gonna be real trouble going forward. And I know you're only 28, but man, you're gonna be in serious trouble trying to get a car or get a cell phone contract, because you're going to have a bankruptcy on your record. So that's the value of benefit counseling. One of the things we try to tell our new clients is, let us help you in that process. It's okay to do a little surveying up front, like, hey, who might be interested in group health? We're looking at this. But don't feel as an employer or an owner that you have to get the commitment totally up front, because this is happening a lot where they were like, wow, Johnny said he didn't want it. Absolutely didn't want it. And then he talked to you and then he wants it. Why? Because he was educated, because the employee got more information. They were not strong-armed. They just got more information. They made an informed decision. So I hope this is helpful. Benefit counseling, it's what we do with every single employee. This was a phone-based enrollment. So they were an hour and a half away from us. We did it over the phone. Some of these sessions took 10, 15 minutes. And that's why we do what we do every single day, because we don't want someone to have a major issue or have a medical concern that they're struggling with, and they don't want to go to the doctor because their side has been hurting for 2 weeks and they don't have insurance. And what happens is that becomes a full-blown medical crisis, and now they're in deep trouble medically, financially, psychologically, to the company, everything. It spirals out of control. It could have been prevented with a simple 15-minute discussion, educate the person on what we have, and allow them to make an informed decision. I hope this is beneficial. If you need any help with any of this, let us know at hackmybenefits.com. Thanks.